Hi, and welcome to Where to Promote Your Business on Social Media. I'm Libby Hoppy. I'm a marketing director at Pampered Chef's home office, and I'll be joined today by Danny Hubner. She leads our social media team here at home office as well. Let's briefly cover what we're going to talk about during today's session. The first thing we're going to talk about is give you sort of an overview of the social media landscape today. So if you've just started your business or you're trying to grow your business and understand where to be on social media, we're going to cover some of the key platforms that you should be focused on. The second part of our session today is going to go in depth on getting started on some of those key platforms. This part of the session will be good for those of you who are already established on Facebook and want to optimize what you're already doing there, or for those of you who are new to the business, it's going to be a key guide to help you get started. The last part of the session, we will briefly talk about expanding your social media reach. So how do you really start to create and cultivate relationships on social media? But high level, our goal today is to give you an overview of where you should be playing on social media in order to promote your business. So one thing we want to address is, why are we talking about this during National Conference and following National Conference? Well, many of you may have been experiencing some challenges with your business in running your virtual parties or just establishing a presence on social media because of recent community guidelines restrictions that have been rolled out by some of the key social media platforms that you're using today to run your businesses. So everything we're going to be talking about today is to help position you so that you can stay within those community guidelines and keep it so that you are continuing to build your business on social media and basically playing by the rules. So when you look at the social media landscape today, there are a lot of platforms out there, and many of you probably have a lot of these apps downloaded to your smartphone today. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter. There are a lot of platforms out there. Where do you start? Well, we're going to tell you where to start. The key things that we're going to talk about today are, first and foremost, your Facebook business page. This is where we're going to spend the majority of our time today in terms of showing you how to get started or how to optimize what you're already doing on a business page, and we'll talk about why. We're also going to talk about your Facebook personal profile. How does your personal profile work with your business page, and when should you use it? We're also going to briefly cover Instagram as what we would consider a fast follow for marketing your business and promoting your business once you start to get comfortable on Facebook. Now, there are other platforms that you're probably using to promote your business, but these are the key areas where we recommend you start. So you might be asking, why Facebook? Well, if you were standing in front of me and I were asking you how many of you are on Facebook, my guess is everyone. And it's not entirely true, but 68% of Americans use Facebook. That is an incredible number. 74% of those users are visiting the social network at least daily. And here's the kicker to me. The average time spent on Facebook for active users is 58 minutes a day. That is an incredibly high number. When you think about how much time you have to dedicate to personal behaviors during the given day, people are dedicating almost an hour to scrolling Facebook. So when those people are on Facebook, you need to be in front of them. Also keep in mind, 96% of users are accessing Facebook on a mobile device, and more than 200 million people globally are in a meaningful Facebook group. So what this means is people are on Facebook, people are spending a lot of time on Facebook, and people want to engage once they're on the platform. So to kick us off, I'm going to turn it over to Danny, who's really going to be walking through Facebook business pages and giving you a better idea of why business pages and really how to establish a good Facebook business page presence. Danny? Yep.
So to set the tone, we're here in early August 2019, and I think timeliness is really important, especially because of how fast social media can move. So why Facebook business pages? Facebook has clearly stated in their Facebook terms of use that you're not supposed to use a personal profile to represent something other than yourself. And the example that they state here is your business. And we know that a lot of consultants are still working or have been working their business through their personal profiles. It wasn't that big of a deal in the past, but today Facebook has started taking more action against this. So it's important to understand the why behind the reasons that we're pushing everyone to get on board with Facebook business pages. So what are some other reasons to use a Facebook business page? I want to start with some myth busting, and I've been listening to a lot of consultants both at National Conference and on some of our consultant Facebook groups. Number one, it's free to open and use a Facebook page. There should be no cost associated with using a Facebook page. If you do happen to go down that road, you're either being asked by Target if you want, asked by Facebook if you want to start targeting some ads, or you clicked on the wrong thing and you got into their ad platform. So it's important to remember that Facebook is a pay-to-play space, but we don't need to pay to have a Facebook page. So if you go down that road and any financial information is asked for, try to backtrack and get out of there. So number two, pages will have all the options that a personal profile have and more. You can still have those conversations. You can still exhibit your personal brand. You can still send direct messages and receive direct messages and post. The only real difference is instead of getting friend requests, you're getting likes and follows. Number three is that 2/3 of Facebook users say that they visit the page of a local business at least once a week. Think about your own Facebook activity. Have you looked at a local business or any business page in the last week or so? If so, that kind of answers the question right there on why you should be on a Facebook business page. You should be one of those businesses that people are checking out. Pages also give your business more credibility. There was a reason behind Facebook establishing business pages. They want you to have a credible presence on their platform. They want you to have a substantial place for you to do your business. So utilize the tools that they're giving you. There's also more than 90 million business pages today, and we want you to be among that competition. We want you to have your page established, your business established, knowing that this is your digital storefront. So now is the time to start if you haven't. So let's get prepared. Even if you already have a Facebook business page today, you can use this as a reminder. What I want you to do is to review both Facebook and the consultant policies about page names. The great thing is we're working together. I'll go through this with an example a little bit later, but it's always helpful to look at the policies for the different places that we're doing business. You want to make sure your personal profile is in good standing. So we know that in early summer 2019, around today, that some of our personal profiles were really targeted with some Facebook restrictions. If you're still battling with those, we want you to make sure that you're not in a state of restriction and you're going out and starting a new Facebook business page. So make sure that you're in a good place before you start utilizing a new tool to start doing business. And also remember, as you set everything up, that your Facebook business page is your digital storefront. This is the first place that your customers or desired customers are going to find your presence online before they even get to your personal website. So you want this to be a true representation of you, and you want your personal brand to be standing out. And if you're still not knowing what your personal brand is, we really recommend you taking our other training on personal branding for social media. The next thing you want to do is to start thinking about a plan for your Facebook groups. I know that many consultants are utilizing VIP or customer groups, and I think those are really great tools. So if you do have a VIP group that is on your personal profile, you can actually really easily move that over under your Facebook business page once you have that established. So keep track of your groups, even your virtual parties, and start thinking about a plan for those. And then be ready to be a good example. As a national conference attendee and as this webinar attendee, you are getting some great information that you can start instilling in your own online business practices, and you can be a resource to your teams. So definitely share all this with your teammates. So next, I'm going to go through a mock-up of a Facebook page that I established as an example. I'm a pretty visual person, and I think it helps for a visual platform like Facebook to show you exactly what we're talking about. So I created a Facebook business page for myself, like I was a consultant. So here's my page, Cooking Solutions by Dani. On the left side of the page is the laptop or desktop view, and then on the right side is a mobile view, because we know that the majority of social media users are using a mobile device. So definitely something to keep top of mind. So the first thing you want to look at is your page name. And the order of which I'm following here should be the order that Facebook has you set up your business page if you're establishing a new one. And if you already have your page, this is a great time to check up on your health of your page. So for your page name, this is where you want to reference the consultant and Facebook policies. You have two options here. You can do the one that I'm doing, which is using a personal brand that you've established, so mine's Cooking Solutions by Dani, or you can say your first and last name, independent consultant, Pampered Chef. So the key there, if I did Dani Huebner, independent consultant, Pampered Chef, I want to make sure my name is leading and not Pampered Chef. If you lead with Pampered Chef, you're going to not only be competing with our brand page for our main Pampered Chef page, but you're also, you might be facing some misrepresentation because you're not Pampered Chef, you're you. So definitely follow those guidelines. Second thing is a username, and that's only visible to the public on the laptop view, so look over on that side. Your username should closely mimic or exactly mimic your page name. Your username is really important because that's what shows up in your Facebook URL. So mine would be facebook.com/Cooking Solutions by Dani. It's also an easy way for your page to be tagged. So if somebody wants to tag you as a recommendation on Facebook, they would use your @tag, and this would help pull that up immediately. Your profile picture is your first visual representation on Facebook. It's really important to think through what your profile photo is. And although Pampered Chef does provide some logos and marketing imagery for consultants to use, I really recommend you use a portrait of yourself. It doesn't have to be a professional portrait, but use something that if I were to find you in the grocery store, I knew that that's you from your business page. You want it to be authentically you. Now, again, it doesn't have to be professional. It could be something, maybe you're at an in-person party, or you're at home wearing your apron, or you're just cooking in the kitchen, or it's just a really good selfie, but make sure it represents you. The second visual piece is going to be your cover photo, and there are endless options here. Marketing imagery is always updated regularly with new options for cover photos. You can also just take an image from marketing imagery and set that into different crops in your cover photos. Or you can take what I did here, which is a combination of marketing imagery and my personal branding added onto it. Or you can use your own photo, your own video, or you can even use another piece of marketing imagery, which is the monthly host or guest specials. So really think through how you want to utilize this. If you're using the host or guest specials, just know that you're going to have to update those on a monthly basis. For anything else, it's great to have a content plan behind that. Or if you're using something that's a little more static, like this Cooking Solutions by Dani one, you don't have to update as often. So choose what works best for you. Next, we're moving on to the call to action button, CTA button. I recommend consultants use Shop Now. One of the great things about having a Facebook page is that the send message call to action follows users all around the page on mobile. So that is an option when you're looking at what kind of button to set up, but I choose Shop Now because really you want people, soon-to-be customers or current customers, to get directly to your shopping website, and you want to make it easy for them. Next, we're going to move on to the About section, but before we get there, I want to point out on the left side of the screen on the laptop view, one of the great things that Facebook business pages do once you have them established is that they give you tips throughout time. So as soon as you set up a page, you're going to get a lot of tips up front from Facebook on how to optimize your page. One of them is to set up a welcome post. So that's what I did here. I said right away, hi, this is who I am. This is a little bit about me, so relating back to my personal brand. And welcome. By the way, here's my family. And I pinned this to the top of my page. So this is an option you can do. It's a really way to humanize your page for people as soon as they land on it. So let's move on to the About section. So to get to the About section, you want to go into Settings and then Page Info. So that's where you can go if you ever need to edit anything after initially setting up your page. But the About section is what's publicly available to your customers. So the first thing you want to start with is your description. Now, if you're trying to slap together a Facebook page, skip over the description. This is something you should be really thoughtful about. If you have a personal brand established, this is where you want to add that information. Don't be shy with what you're going to be offering in this for customers. You want to make it very clear why your page is established and what your business can do, what kind of solutions you can provide for your customers. And definitely make sure to use the Pampered Chef keyword, because that is going to help you become more searchable for anyone who's looking for a Pampered Chef consultant, especially in your local area. For the phone and email sections of your profile, or your page rather, I really recommend you skip this. When somebody's finding you as an individual person behind a business on social media, they're able to contact you via social media. Putting your phone and email out there just puts you at risk for getting spammed, and we definitely don't want that to happen to you. Your website is really easy. You want this to be your personal website, so make sure that's set up and ready to go. And for your address, I recommend you put in your zip code. You can also consider putting in your city. I think that's great. It helps establish you on the local map, but do not put in your street address. That's just for your own personal safety. And then hours. You have a couple options here, but my favorite is always open. I think it's the friendliest option. So if somebody has insomnia and they're shopping in the middle of the night or looking for you on their own terms, they'll see that they're able to contact you at that time, even if you're not available to answer their questions in the moment. So speaking of which, a great tip is to add a auto-response greeting to your Messenger platform. So this allows people who are finding you to be able to contact you on their own time. But even if you are not available 24/7, which I don't expect you to be, they'll get a response to know that you did receive their message and it's not just lost on social media. So it'll come up like this. I sent myself a test message rather, and here's my auto response. And Facebook makes it super easy for you to personalize this with somebody's name if they're reaching out to you, and you'll get a notification that you have a new message that you can respond to on your own time. All right, so what are some other benefits for using a Facebook business page? Number one, it humanizes your business. Facebook was built for people to connect on. So we know that people run businesses and they establish these pages for people to use for their businesses. So don't forget yourself, your authentic self, your personal brand when you're doing your business on social media, because that's the difference between using social media for business and just using a website. You can also join, link to, and create groups just like you would on your own personal profile. So going back to what I said earlier, if you have a VIP customer group, you can link that to your page and have your page start owning it. You can now actually have your page join local groups. So if you're personally a member of a community group, maybe a buy and sell group or a garage sale group, you can go in there as your page too, so you can be recommended more often. Customer care will not change here. You always want to exhibit fantastic customer care on social media. That's part of what makes our consultants stand out. You also want to share your offers and promotions. So we know that in the time that we've had a lot of Facebook restrictions, some of the posts that were getting flagged were specifically about sales. So Facebook business pages are meant for sales. So definitely use your space to share these offers and promotions. You don't want to be shy about those on your business page. You'll also be more visible. So whereas profiles, you have the option to be private or you have to accept friend requests, pages are always going to be available to anyone who's publicly searching for you, and when someone's searching for you, you want to be found. So we want to establish that online presence for you. And you can use your Facebook profile to link to Instagram business pages. So if you're doing a well-rounded social media marketing for your business, it's making it a little bit easier and more efficient for you. And there's so much more. Let's talk a little bit about what the difference is between a personal profile and a business profile and how the two work together. So Facebook states that business pages are for businesses and brands to establish themselves on Facebook and to perform their business from there. And personal profiles are for you, and they're for you to connect with your friends and family as you. So business versus personal. However, you do need to have a personal profile to open up a business page. So if you're not interested at this moment in being on Facebook as a person, this may not be the right choice for you, because you do need to have a profile in order to admin your page. This is mandatory. You also can use your page, you can use your profile to promote your page with a soft touch. So if you're on the opposite side of the spectrum and you have a really strong personal network, you don't have to give up on that. You want to be able to promote your business still on your personal profile, but we want to be really diligent in how we do that. So the ways you can do this that are friendly is to invite your friends and family to like your page. There are a variety of ways to do this, and some of the tips that you get from Facebook when you open a page will guide you in that direction. You can also share useful posts from your page to your newsfeed. So if you know that when you were doing your business from your personal profile and you saw the same type of content, like maybe a recipe, resonated with your friends and family, share those from your page to your personal profile. You can still reach your network that way. You can also share posts from your page into groups that you're personally a member of. So you can either interact as yourself, or you can interact as your page if your page is in those groups. But if you know that you're in a meal planning group outside of Pampered Chef and there's a great post that you put on your page that members would really like and would provide value to them, share that with them. You can also add yourself as a team member to your page. This creates an additional level of transparency, so again, humanizing your page and your business. And you can also tag yourself and your friends in your page's photos. So if you're doing an event or if you're doing an in-person party and you have some great photos, put them up on your business page, but then go back in as your personal profile and tag yourself and tag your friends, and that way you're seeping into their networks again.
Now that Danny has reviewed Facebook business pages, how you should set them up, what you should be doing, and how a personal profile works with a business page, we want to briefly touch on Instagram. We at Home Office think Instagram is another opportunity area for where you could be promoting your business on social media. So the question is, why Instagram? Well, Instagram is the fastest growing social media platform this year, in 2019. In fact, it just eclipsed 1 billion monthly active users. So those are some really incredible numbers for a platform that is driven primarily by photo and video. 95 million photos and videos are uploaded to the platform every day, and 4.2 billion posts are liked each day. A third of the most viewed Instagram stories are from businesses, and there are over 25 million business profiles present, which is what we're going to talk about today. What this means essentially is that it is a great platform for you to be promoting yourself as a business, and there are a number of businesses that are seeing great success on the platform today. Finally, 200 million users visit at least one business profile a day, meaning there is a lot of opportunity for you out there for the number of people who are using this platform, not just to look at friends, photos, and videos, but they are really wanting to learn more about businesses and brands using this platform. So something to know up front is that Instagram is owned by Facebook. So anything we're coaching you on Facebook pretty much applies to Instagram as well. So keep everything, especially regarding community standards, in mind if you're using Instagram too.
What are the differences between personal and business Instagram profiles? This is actually a little bit more simple than Facebook. It's one thing. A profile has the option to go private. And as a consultant who's trying to gather new leads for our business, we don't really need to go private. So I would recommend that you use a business page. So an Instagram business page, or rather they call these profiles on Instagram, has additional features that you can utilize to really promote your business on Instagram. So they have business info like a category and location, just like your Facebook business page. They have calls to action buttons on your profiles, like you could see in the example, to shop, call, or for directions. We wouldn't necessarily use those, but you can pick the ones that work right for you. They also allow you to put links in stories. So Libby mentioned stories. Stories are one of the fastest growing features on social media, not just on Instagram, but also on Facebook, and they're in the moment. So you can take a photo or a video or a live of what you're doing in the moment, and you can link directly to your personal website. You definitely want to be able to drive those sales to your website. They also sync with your Facebook business page. So Facebook is developing a lot of new tools to integrate Instagram with Facebook this year in 2019, and you'll want to keep a lookout for those because they're meant to make your business a little bit easier to operate. One of the great things about posting on Instagram business profiles is that you can share it directly to your Facebook business page. And we know that not everyone on Instagram is on Facebook too, so it's okay to post the same content on both places every now and then. Another great thing that Instagram business profiles have that a personal profile doesn't is access to insights. Facebook has this as well, and insights allow you to see who you're reaching, what time they're most active, so you can plan your content around your customers for peak interest.
So once you're established and you know where to promote your business on social media, then it's important to start thinking about how you then expand your social media reach, right? How do you start to engage your communities? How do you start to build that real network on those social media profiles? And that's what we're going to briefly touch on for the rest of our time today. The first way to start to build an active and engaged social media community is follow social media best practices. Now, we've outlined a lot of social media best practices here in this session today, but there are a lot of resources that you can access to try to find social media best practices, including Training in Dash, as well as other resources available from Facebook, specifically community guidelines also. Read what Facebook and or Instagram have to offer in terms of their resources, because they clearly define what they say are best practices on their platforms, and that's what keeps you safe, right? That's what keeps you a preferred account on their platforms. 2, utilize built-in platform features. Danny mentioned a little bit about Instagram stories, and if you've never played around with Instagram stories before, you don't have to start just posting to Instagram stories right now, but explore the built-in features that these platforms have today. The reality is the platforms have built in a lot of features to support businesses, right? So you can add shop buttons to your Facebook page. You can do some of these things that are meant to help support business pages, right? Facebook, with both its Facebook platform and Instagram, have developed a number of features to help you drive interest and engagement in your business. So check them out. The third is to create a content calendar. Home Office each month provides a monthly communications calendar so that you can see what Home Office is going to be sharing on a daily basis on its social media accounts. That's a good place to start. When we talk about posting with purpose, we mean that there should be a plan, right? It shouldn't just be, okay, I'm up on a Monday, it's sunny outside, I'm going to post about it being sunny. It's really helpful to have a content calendar to help drive engagement and expand your social media reach, because it doesn't feel so random that way. It's consistent and it's authentic. So we've talked about this in other sessions and previously. This is where that Fab3 method as well comes in. So when you are creating a content calendar and you're building out a plan for what you want to share, posts on your business profiles and business pages should mean something. When you follow the Fab3 method, you're thinking through the 3 key things for each post you're planning. 1, what's in it for the customer? 2, how will they relate to what I'm sharing? And 3, am I giving them a way to engage with me? Am I asking questions? Am I creating an opportunity for my customers to communicate with me on this platform? And 4, that's one of the key ways that you build trust with your community. If you engage with them, you comment, you post, you respond. It's not just a one-way platform where you're sharing information out with your communities. It's a two-way platform where you should be having a conversation.
So moving on to number 5, live stream and use your own videos regularly. Videos are still king on social media. Live streaming is one of the most authentic ways that you can reach your audience and engage with them. So explore both live streaming and videos when you have a chance. And not just marketing imagery videos, but videos that you take on your own. Again, those are super authentic as well. It's a great way to reach more people on social media. 6, cross-promote other brands and people's content. Are you following Pampered Chef's Facebook and Instagram pages? You can share those posts with your audience. Are you following other small businesses or local businesses or other DSA consultants? Share their content and let them know that you're cross-promoting them, and hopefully they'll cross-promote you as well, so you can extend your reach into their networks and tap into a new audience. 7, ask for reviews and recommendations. One of my favorite features on Facebook business pages is how prominent they put reviews and recommendations. So if you have a great experience with a host or customer, ask them to leave you a review on your Facebook page. Other potential hosts and customers will see that and know that there are other people who already love doing business with you. Another great thing about having business pages is that you can be tagged as recommendations. That's one of the growing features I see in groups on Facebook is people asking for help, asking for recommendations. You want to be one of those brands that pops up in conversation. And then 8, share blogs and recipes from your PWS. One of the best ways you can get customers on your personal website is to provide them content that gives them value. Share blogs that solve solutions for them. Share recipes that are relevant at that time. So if it's fall of this year, share some of our favorite fall recipes that they can add to their weekly meal planning or some of their own celebrations. So think about what your customers' needs are and search your own website for that kind of content to reach them.
So to wrap up today, a couple other key things to think about when you think about how you can expand your social media reach. The first thing to think about is where your audience is today. We covered Facebook groups, we covered Facebook business pages, we talked about Instagram. But in order to expand your social media reach, you need to think about where your audience is today. You shouldn't be fishing in a pond where there are no fish. So if all your friends and everyone you know from your network is on Facebook, then we highly recommend you focus your business there. Think about where you're already seeing business activities. If you have a Facebook group, VIP group that's doing really well, then focus there. You should be running your group from your Facebook business page, but if you do have a group set up for your VIP customers and you feel like things are going well there, then focus there, right? You want to feel really comfortable in one platform before you try to explore another. Don't spread yourself too thin. But think about where you want to grow your business. If you do happen to have a network in a community who you know is using Instagram a lot, and you hear people saying, hey, I saw your story, or have you seen so-and-so's story, that's when you should start kind of plotting and putting that away and saying, well, maybe Instagram stories is where I could be sharing more information, where I could be promoting my business on social media. If you know people are using these platforms or these features on the platforms, then think strategically about where you want to grow your business. And then finally, where can you most effectively demonstrate solutions? The fact that you're able to demonstrate what Pampered Chef tools can do to help people with their meal times, it doesn't change just because you're on social media. It's still one of the key things that make people interested in our products. And so what Danny and I always like to say is Instagram is a visual platform. If you don't feel comfortable shooting photos or videos or being very visual on a platform, then Instagram might not be the place for you. But if you really do like to shoot videos, you have a great eye for photography, and you really prefer kind of that visual method of storytelling, and you feel like you can demonstrate the solutions in a visual way, then think about Instagram. There are a lot of ways you can promote your business on social media, and we try to give you a foundation here during this session today about where to start. We hope that you look at other resources from Home Office, including the training available to you. And there are a few other sessions from National Conference where you can listen to recordings that might also be helpful to help you build on what you learned in this session, including building your brand on social media, another session that Danny and I have recorded, which really helps you understand how to establish your brand to bring it to life on your social media channels, a session on virtual selling, which also helps you understand not just how to promote your business on social media, but how to run effective virtual parties, and then virtual party best practices, which takes you through some of the different types of virtual parties that you could be running on Facebook and other tools. So check out those sessions, and we hope you enjoyed this session today.